Good day, ma'am. Good day, everyone. We are not oblivious to the fact that the English language learning tradition has been subject to tremendous change over the years. I am Beverly Love Ribosora, and for this presentation, let's take a look on the past as well as the present trends in language teaching. Let us see how they are improved and how are they implemented not just in the classroom but also in the distance learning. And now let's be acquainted on the past trends of language teaching. The first trend is the classical method, or commonly known as the grammar translation method. This is a traditional teaching technique that was used to teach Latin and Greek and was particularly in vogue during the 16th century. The focus at this time is on the translation of texts, grammar, and rote learning of vocabulary. There is no emphasis on speaking and listening comprehension because Latin and Greek were taught more as academic subjects rather than a means of oral communication. It is widely recognized and is still one of the most popular and favorite models of language teaching. However, it does little to improve your ability to use the language for oral communication. The second trend is the direct method. So these are the important premises or characteristics of a direct method. Classroom instruction was conducted in the target language. There was an inductive approach to grammar. Only everyday vocabulary was taught. Concrete vocabulary was taught through pictures and objects, while abstract vocabulary was taught by association of ideas. Basically, this method is the anti-grammatical and reform method. In this method, there is a direct involvement of students when speaking and listening to foreign language in common everyday situations. According to language experts, it is not an easy methodology to use in a classroom situation because it requires small classes and high student motivation, and in the artificial environment of a classroom, it is difficult to generate natural situations of understanding and guarantee sufficient practice for everyone. The third one is the audiolingual method. Just a little background, the outbreak of the World War II heightened the need for Americans to become orally proficient in the languages of their allies and enemies, and that is why this army method, which came to be known in the 1950s as the audiolingual method, was born. In this method, there is a dependence on mimicry and memorization of set phrases. There is no grammatical explanation. The use of tapes and visual aids are evident. There is also a focus on pronunciation, and there is an immediate reinforcement for correct responses. The next trend we have is Suggestopedia. Suggestopedia used relaxation as a means of retaining new knowledge and material. It offered valuable insights into the super learning powers of our brain. Suggestopedia promised great results if we use our brain power and inner capacities. According to Lozanov of 1979, he believes that we humans are capable of learning much more than we think. And so, language experts believed that a relaxed mind is an open mind and it can help a student to feel more confident and, in a sense, pliable. The fifth trend is the silent way. In this trend, teachers talk as little as possible and gestures and facial expressions are necessary. The silent way rested on cognitive rather than affective arguments and was characterized by a problem-solving approach to learning. Though this is very effective, however, there are many criticisms about it. It was considered very harsh as the teacher was distant since it is a student-centered approach, and in general lines, the classroom environment was not conducive to learning. The last trend that we have is the CLT, or commonly known as the communicative language teaching. Here, there is a focus on all of the components of communicative competence, not only grammatical or linguistic competence, viewing fluency and accuracy as complementary principles underpinning communicative techniques, and they also use the language in unrehearsed context. In other words, communicative language teaching is an approach which transcends the boundaries of concrete methods and concomitantly techniques. It is a theoretical position about the nature of language and language learning and teaching. Technological innovations are part of education and English language teaching. And now, let us explore some of the biggest trends in the English language teaching for the present year. First we have is new technology, video platforms, and social media. Virtual reality is seeing greater prominence in the classroom, and I guess we can all agree to that. It creates an immersive and modern learning experience. Virtual reality is one of the most exciting and cutting edge trends that could lead to a real shift in the way we blend education and in the language teaching both in and out of school. As an English teacher, it's important to be aware of just how many available sources and new mediums there are at your disposal. There's no problem with encouraging your students to explore social media to develop their language skills. Just be sure to continually encourage positive uses of such sources or resources. Next we have is task-based learning. It is based on a simple premise that students learn when they collaborate on meaningful and communication-based tasks. So here, you can let your students develop an app for an initial discussion to its full inception. So the practical skills and modern context would serve as a useful and job-ready activity. You need to push boundaries of what a task might include and always have an eye to the future. So with task-based learning, you can play around with blogs, video games, and other technology-oriented tasks. The next trend is translanguaging. So in here, various languages is used in an educational context and it incorporates a number of different theoretical approaches. A translanguaging class, for example, may see students write an essay or discuss a topic in their shared native tongues before grouping with the class and presenting their findings in English. In this case, students are using whatever language resources they have to best achieve a more accurate picture in English. We also have DIY learning. For DIY learning, students should be encouraged to follow particular areas of interest to promote engagement and enjoyment in the classroom and home. You, as teachers also, you need to allocate time to work on specific or desired areas of study and create blocks of time during which they focus on areas of research and discovery. So for students in the higher level, the DIY learning may see a greater focus on the job ready or skill ready side of the DIY learning. Students may be encouraged to undertake projects at home regarding the writing of their resumes, application letters, cover letters, and other college papers or literature reviews which can be assessed in class. So here, we are incorporating both English study and important life skills. And now for the last trend, we have teaching proficiency through reading and storytelling. Context and meaning play an important role in the acquisition of new language and native phrases. By presenting tasks based on storytelling and reading in a highly contextualized setting, teachers are able to teach vocabulary, phrases, and large chunks of language. It's a move away from traditional textbook task based learning and relies heavily on the competencies of the teacher. And now the big question is, what is the role of the modern teacher in language teaching? We can observe that at present, most of the learning take place in the hands of the students, but a teacher also must remain diligent. So, as an educator, one of our roles is to explore the needs of our students, our learners, and their particular areas of interest so that we will become more aware of their personalities and the potential learning direction. Also, we need to establish good conditions and develop activities so that learners are able to practice the language in meaningful context. Remember that we are the facilitators. Modern teachers are the facilitators, the resource person, and the language model. That would be all for my presentation. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please have a good day.